We are in this thing with the Commas Podcast, and we're talking today about steps on how to love yourself more. I don't know about you, but if you're anything like me, that you have been in a place at times where you have second guessed your love for yourself, that you have maybe connected yourself with something that was toxic, but it provided you some level of relief, or it provided you some level of feeling appreciated in that moment, but you knew it wasn't what you were supposed to be connected to, but you did it, or you connected with it, or you connected with that person, that job, whatever it may be, all from a level of maybe acceptance or just wanting to feel loved. And I'm coming to a place, man, where I'm really trying to exercise loving myself better, loving myself from a different place and loving myself from a different lens. And I just want to be better about loving me. And I know that sounds crazy because a lot of times, especially for Black men, we don't get that space to articulate that we love ourselves, or we need to love ourselves, or we need to practice self-care. Because especially now, if you do that, it's like, oh, you trying to tap into your feminine energy. No, I'm just trying to respect myself, and I'm trying to do better about myself. Because if I learn not to play with myself and play from the standpoint of playing on my emotions or downplaying myself or whatever the case is, then I possibly will raise the bar about, how other people may deal with me. And so a lot of times we don't know how to take care of ourselves. So therefore we don't set the boundaries that we need to set, because we have none. Right? We don't have a standard for how we are to treat ourselves. And that standard, I believe, is supposed to be set by how we love ourselves. So if I love myself well, you're not going to come in and just treat me any type of way, because I know what that feels like. I know what real love feels like, because I get a chance to love myself. And I think that a lot of times, it gets pegged as being selfish, or it gets pegged as, you just self-centered, or whatever the case is. But if you don't know how to love yourself, it's going to be very hard to show somebody how to love you. And I think that that's another dynamic that we don't really tap into, because everybody loves the Music Soul Child song, Teach Me How to Love, right? They be, talking about teach me how to love. They be dancing, singing along. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Oh my God, I love this song. You love that song, but you don't want to operate within what that song is telling you. Everybody that comes into your life, you're going to have to teach them how to love you. If somebody took, just because something worked over at Walmart doesn't mean it's going to work at Target. If you were a manager at Walmart, it doesn't automatically put you into a manager's seat at Target. You have to learn different procedures, different rules and regulations, and different guidelines that Target operates by. And you can apply Walmart procedures to a Target approach. And I think that that's the way we are with people. Just because you knew how to love Keisha, don't mean you know how to love Tracy. You know what I'm saying? So, it may be some intangible things that, attention, talking, and all of that type of stuff, but everything is not going to translate over. And just because it worked well over here doesn't mean it works well over there. And in order for us to teach people how to love us, which I think that we have to know how to do, because I've seen memes where it talks about, if they don't know how to love me, I ain't got time to be teaching nobody. Well, then that's a problem. I believe. That's just my own personal opinion. You probably have your own, and I believe that you do in your own personal perspective. But if you do not have what it takes to teach somebody how to love you, I question if you know how to love yourself. Because anybody that comes into your life, they should learn your standards and your boundaries by how you love yourself. And if we don't properly love ourselves, we have no standards or no boundaries to teach them or to show them how we should be loved or how we want to be loved. And because typically what we do is that we love people how we want to be loved. So if, we talk about those love languages, those 5 love languages, and if your love language, I'll just say for me, if my love language is gifts and I come in and I'm giving you gifts, and your love language is quality time, and I'm thinking I'm hitting the mark by giving you gifts, and you're like, Negro, you could take them gifts back. I want to spend some time with you. And I'm like, girl, I ain't got it. I ain't got time, because there's plenty of people that may have that may have the money but don't have the time, or they may have the time and not have the money. And I think that a lot of times we have to decide what works best for us. But I think it all starts with us loving ourselves better. And so one of the big things that I want to highlight real quick, number one, is self-reflection. I think self-reflection, when you look at yourself, and a lot of times for us in our culture, I believe that when we do self-reflection, we look at all the things that we need to improve upon, all the areas that we need to do better. We look at all of our deficiencies. So we immediately equate self-reflection to almost self-downing, where we down ourselves and where we downplay ourselves and what we need to improve upon. Oh, well, I'm not good at this, or oh, I'm not good at that. No, you need to look at self-reflection from the standpoint of highlighting your strengths, achievements, and yeah, you're going to have some growth areas. We get that. Everybody does. But make sure that as you list those growth areas, that it's not the primary focus of your level of self-reflection, because you're going to look at yourself from a place of deficiency and not from a place of you being an asset. So if you look at yourself from a place of deficiency, you're always going to be looking for somebody that has better than you or has more than you in that particular area. It doesn't mean that they're better than you. It doesn't mean that they even deserve you. They just may have better in that particular area. But if you begin to highlight the areas where you are good, highlight the areas where you are amazing, highlight the areas where you where you have grown, and highlight the areas where you are continuing to grow and become more and more and more, then it aids in the fact that, when somebody comes into me, I'm dope all by myself. I'm great all by myself. And you set the bar of what you allow in your life as it pertains to who comes in it. All right. And then also number two, positive affirmations. You need to hit yourself with some positive affirmations. All right. Replace the criticism with positive self-talk. And I know it sounds cliche. We hear it all the time, affirmations, but they are a real thing, because I believe that if you set the affirmation for yourself, you won't be wooed or swayed by the affections of other people easily. So if you are affirming yourself, and I know we love to hear other people say it, and that's natural. But I'm saying that there have been times for me that a woman came into my life by flattery, right? It's like, you flattered me enough. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's up. I see you. What's up? You know what I'm saying? And flattery is a great thing. We all want to be affirmed. We all do. We all want to hear great things about ourselves. But if you're telling yourself great things, that when people come into your life, it'll be an echo of what you have said. It will be an echo of what you have said. And the rule is to set it so that there'll be an echo and not just the initial voice that you hear saying it. So you won't be as wild or won't be as wooed. All right. Also, I think it's imperative that you have a great self-care routine. Number three, self-care routine. You need to have a great self-care routine. Prioritize activities that nourish your body and your mind. I'm not that good in that. I ain't that good in that. I'm trying to get better with that. I am desperately trying to get better with that. I found me a trail that I'm walking to look at the mountains, and also to take care of my body and my health and things of that nature. I just haven't been the best at that, because majority of us have been programmed for survival. We have not been programmed to thrive, and we have not been programmed to think beyond survival. And so to take care of ourselves, you have to click out of the survival mode to put yourself in a self-care routine, because when you're in survival mode, you're just doing whatever you have to do to survive. And so it's like, I'm going to do this, and I ain't got time for that other stuff. Make time for a self-care routine. That's number three. Number four, set boundaries. Learn to say no when necessary and prioritize your own well-being. No is a full sentence, but you cannot set boundaries if you do not know how to properly love yourself, because you're just going to accept anything. You're going to be like, that's great. I love that. They give you a little time away. I love that. They talk to you a little bit. Oh, yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's everything. They send you a few texts. Yeah, I love that. And I'm a texter. If anything, I'm a texter. I get it. But understanding that at certain points and certain times, that as you the connection of the phone. I may need FaceTime. I may need, us meeting up, and how often, that needs to happen. But you have to set boundaries for yourself of what you will allow and what you won't allow, so that you could properly love yourself better. And also, number 5, surround yourself with positive, with positive reinforcements and positive affirmations. Surround yourself with positivity just in general. People that are doing something, engage with supportive groups, and have an environment that supports you in a level of positivity. Here's the thing that I want us to understand, that if you do not surround yourself with positivity, and you have the ebbs and flows of negativity, extreme negativity, things are pretty neutral, whatever the case is, your environment dictates your level of growth. And if you could be a very positive person, but if you put a positive person in a negative environment, that environment will trump out the positivity before the positivity spews into the environment. What am I telling you? You just got to be careful for what and who you hang around. And this is a part of loving yourself. It has nothing to do with them, because what people would do is that, hey, when you say, hey, I'm not coming over there, or no, I'm good, I'm gonna miss that, no, I got something else to do, people will try to shame you for not showing up at certain places. Well, no, don't, because I've learned how to love me, and I've learned certain environments I just cannot be in. And if you learn that, then you will begin to practice that all the time. No, certain environments, I just can't be there. It's not about me being better. It's about me taking better care of myself. And honestly, it's about you taking yourself more serious. Listen, in 2024, you got to learn how to take yourself more serious in this season. You are a big deal. And so certain cars don't go in certain neighborhoods. Certain people won't go in certain neighborhoods. And it has nothing to do with the people in that neighborhood. It has everything to do with the environment that I don't want to make myself conducive to. Because if I do, then something may happen. But I am a precious jewel. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we be like, go get the bag, ladies, go get the bag. But ladies, you are the bag too. So you cannot place the bag everywhere. You cannot place this Rolls Royce. You cannot park a Rolls Royce everywhere. You cannot handle certain things a certain type of way. And so because you are that, you want to be very cautious and be very careful about where you go. Certain environments will trump your positivity. It's the same way. Like I have one plant in my house, one real plant. I got some fake plants and stuff like that, but I have one real plant in my home. And literally, I was learning about trimming the plant, because this plant, I'm watering it, and I'm like, okay, cool. And, eventually I got to learn how to repot it, whatever that is. But I have to learn how to do that. But in the process of that, I was watching a video, because one of the plants on my plant turned, or one of the branches on my plant turned like yellow. And then it started turning brown. And then I was like, yo, like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And I was watching this video, and it said, make sure you pluck all of the dead branches off, or the dead flowers off of your plant. Because if you don't, that brown will take over the whole plant. It will rot out the whole plant and kill it. This is the reason why it's important for pruning. As something is growing, it also needs to be pruned. That's a word within itself. As something is growing, it also needs to be pruned. And a lot of times, what we tend to do is that we tend to take the pruning as punishment. And pruning is not necessarily punishment. Pruning is because you are growing. And so because God sees where you're growing and where you're going to become and what you're going to do, he has to cut off the things that refuse to grow with you, just for the simple fact that I don't want it to infect you. What does that tell me? Is that environment will infect me before I infect it. Who I'm around will infect me before I infect it. And so a part of loving yourself is also prioritizing who you are around, the conversations that you have, and who you communicate with. I was on YouTube on this amazing platform. And as I'm on this amazing platform, I was scrolling and, I was watching one of my favorite comedians. I love comedy. I love stand-up comedy. And I was watching one of my favorite comedians. And then another video of this other comedian and him and how this other comedian didn't like him and then all this other type of stuff. And I started going on a little rabbit hole and I was like, oh, no. Because I feel dumb. Like, I feel like watching this, it's not making me, usually like if I'm watching stand-up comedy, it's because I want a break and I love comedy, but I want a break from, something and I'm just having a moment where I want to laugh and so forth and so on. But I like watching pointless stuff and other people's drama and drama in general, it just makes me feel like I'm getting dumber. Like I feel like, wait a minute, something else I could be doing on my time that's more productive than this. And I'm saying that to say that that may not be your thing. I'm just saying that that's my thing. But what I am saying is that we have to prioritize what we put ourselves in and what environments we put ourselves in, and also what we allow ourselves to listen to consistently. So, excuse me, ways to better love yourself, self-reflection, positive affirmations, self-care routines, set boundaries, and surround yourself with positivity, man. That's key. So I hope you got something out of this. I love y'all so much. Shout out to the commas and be on the lookout for our next video.